Hello. Welcome back to possibly the last episode of this series. Today, while I am editing the video, it is 23rd of July. The game is coming out in 4 hours. This video has been in the works for 3 weeks, and I think I should at least finish this video as a little send-off to F1 Manager 23 and a little thank you to the game that we had so much fun in. But I think it has run its course, and we will not finish this career mode. We will leave it as is and continue on in F1 Manager 2024. I cannot play this game anymore, seeing all the features that are in the game. For example, poaching other drivers and other teams poaching your drivers, all the mentality systems, affiliate drivers, whatever. So much things to do, and also that this save is a little bit messed up. It's not as good as the tutorial I made. We are not set in the year 2024. We are in 2023. But it was a fun game. Thank you to F1 Manager 2023. We will finish this one last race and move on to the new game.
And it's lights out and away we go.
Lights out, the way we go. Lewis starts in first, but I do have a problem. We have some parts that are breaking down at the end of the season. We really don't have the budget to really change those parts. We might have some cap issues. I do not want to sustain what's it called, over the cap penalty. So we have just chosen to use the earlier parts that we've used throughout the season. They are a bit damaged, but really the results are in for the season, and all of this is just for fun for us at this time. Now, still, Lewis managed to qualify first, so we want to do our best and stay in front. We are keeping Max behind, but he also... Oh, actually Leclerc has softs. Interesting, actually, choice in this sprint race. Some cars have chosen to go with the hards, some with softs, some with mediums.
There seem to be some great clouds of resistance.
Usually in the sprints it's just one tire across the field, but interesting choice to say the least. Now we will do our best. Leclerc will fly away. Currently Max is being held up by Lewis, so we'll see how this goes. George going on for the overtake on Carlos Sainz, and he does overtake him. We do seem pretty quick. We were lucky to put in or create some great setups for our drivers. I believe it was both above 90 for both of our drivers. There were 2 spins in practice 2 for the sprint race weekend. Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda went for a spin. So what I believe is most of the drivers have bad car setups, low confidence, and that means that there might be some fireworks today. We will see if cars go crashing into each other, but currently, even with our wore down parts, we are in the lead in this race, or at least that points margin wise, both of our drivers are in the top 4. And the final lap has started. Really not much for us to do. We did drop down to 3rd and 4th. Carlos Sainz completely ruined his tires. Looks like the softs were the wrong decision. So, Lewis and George did keep their lead, although at one point dropping down to 4th and 5th. Checo actually now racing George Russell. We will keep an eye on him. But really an spectacular race. Max and Leclerc up front over here. They were racing for a while, battling with each other. Now Leclerc has completely dropped off. Lewis, if was given a couple more laps, would chase him down. Actually could go just all out attack at this point. One last lap, but that's what we'll do. Maybe by some kind of miracle, Lewis catches up to Leclerc, but 7-second difference. I don't think that will happen. But George is still battling, so he will need that extra boost. We will go back to neutral. We will leave that deploy for the last straight. We've seen places be stolen away from us in the last corners, so we will try to save it as much as we can. Now, actually, if I would have caught on a bit earlier, we might have actually caught up to Charles. But
So we are low on
it is
battery at
what
the
it
moment.
is. I am not too worried. But here we are now driving over the finish line, third and fourth in the last
So we have
sprint
checkered
race
flag now.
of this year.
And it's lights out, and away we go.
Lights out, away we go. So, looks like the Ferraris received the grid penalty. Where I believe a 5th-place grid penalty for Charles Leclerc. I think these teams are also struggling with some of the parts. I indeed did not change the engine parts for us. Really spending that money at this point of the season when the results are in will not do anything for us. Now, it will be nice to go out with a bang and win a race, but I believe we will appreciate that $10 million next year, and we might receive a fine if we do buy new parts. So I'd rather just keep the money and suffer in these 2 races. But still, we are second and third. We will see what we can do here in Doha.
Now look, here we head into turn 2. And oh, there's contact with the barrier. Thankfully, though, they come away from that unharmed.
Valtteri Bottas, who's been having a great weekend, crashes into a wall. As I was saying, a lot of spins might occur this race weekend. He does ruin his races, and he crashed into the wall. Might be better for Valtteri to just retire. Again, it's the end of the season. I don't think these races matter. Although for the teams at the back, 1 point can be a difference maker. So actually for them, it does make much more sense than us. Now, generally speaking, we are doing pretty good conserving these softs. And the Ferraris aren't really challenging us right now. Now I might be jinxing myself at this point. They seem to be pushing even harder than we are, and we should be the ones struggling today, so we'll see what happens. There seems to be a battle brewing between the Ferraris and Mercedes. Both of the Mercedes, 2nd and 3rd, and the Ferraris, 4th and 5th, with Checo lurking in the back over there. Now, Carlos has been chasing both of us down for a while, but they are going to be doing an undercut, pitting earlier than expected. We will pit soon, but definitely not now. Carlos really had the opportunity to pass us pretty soon. He chooses to pit. Interesting. Charles will be behind us now. Oscar Piastri also choosing to pit. Will he attempt to battle with Carlos? We will see, but I'm really surprised by Carlo pitting that early. They do have a much better tire than us currently, so that is weird. Let's see. Yellow flag. If there's a safety car, we would only win at this point. Let's see, Ricardo locked up. No, okay, we're good. Alright, we will have a tough decision. So, I wanted to pit with George Russell just now, but I have decided to stay out with him, although he has the worst tire. Lewis goes in. George will have the DRS. So, let's see, Checo chooses to pit right behind Lewis. George is passed by Charles Leclerc. Now, we didn't get the DRS actually. Okay, Lewis 2.8 pit, great pit, but we didn't get the DRS. We will pit now. We will go on mode attack. We will push as much as we can. Unfortunately, we had to let Charles pass, but Lewis now will exit in hopefully clean air in front of Lance Stroll. Let's see. Yes, he does. So, Carlos ahead with brand new mediums. Lando, Alonso, George. Basically, he is the... Everybody else will pit except Lewis, so we are good. Can't commentate today, by the looks of it. I need to lock in. This isn't going too well for me. My race
let's
management
uplift the close to
and
ball round,
my
Lewis.
commentary is
Understood.
bad, but it is at the end of the season. I am a bit hungover, partying a bit too much. Ocon, meanwhile, has a pit stop issue. Alright, well, let's hope our tires don't blow up, and let's hope for a nice pit. Just as I say something about blowing up, one of our tires goes yellow. But we are nearing the pits, we should be good. Look at that time difference. Charles has made that up in 1 lap. Charles pits now. We also entered the pits behind him. Let's see. Will Lewis be able to overtake him? Actually, we should have probably pushed. We will push now and we will deploy. Let's see. I
Pick
probably
up the
should have done
pace.
it a bit quicker. There he is. Let's hope for a good pit. He comes out. We have a
And we can drop
2.8.
the
That's
liquid coaster for now,
decent.
we'll make it up later.
Where's Lewis? Lewis needs to come out in front of Leclerc. Where is he? Let's
just to keep
follow
an eye
him.
on your
Alonso
mirrors
also
for-
enters the pits. We
cars
pass Russell. There's Leclerc. We need to overtake him. Come on. We will go. Oh, he's also in the medium. Should we
Keep the
attack?
pressure on, you can do this.
The undercut for us didn't work. Carlos Sainz in second. The undercut worked for them. Oh, no, 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 no. We're not doing too good right now. Okay, we will drop down. We will conserve a little bit. Can't be going too crazy. But we have just lost our advantage. Ferrari have
If
pulled
we could just
off
drop
a
back a bit.
masterclass.
Copy.
Plenty of things happening here in Qatar. Lando stayed out for maybe too long on the mediums. Now Pitts has a pit stop issue down to 10th. Max just pitted, came out in 6th, actually passed, or 7th, but he just now passed George and has completely disappeared from point of view of George. Maybe... No, looks like he is just going for the fastest lap. Well, that's Max Verstappen for you. We are cruising along in 5th and 6th now. Ferrari have indeed pulled
anything
off
could happen.
a masterclass. Checo also passed both of our Mercedes drivers. So, we're cruising to the finish line, not worrying about anything.
Here we are going into turn 9. Can they squeeze by? Closer and closer to that podium, now in 4th place.
Lewis pushes Checo off the track. Bye, Checo. We are racing towards the podium. Now that I am thinking about it, we might have a nice chance today at doing something. We have chosen to
Perez is in.
change our strategy a little bit. We will try to fit the softs in our strategy. And we can really go out with a bang here in Qatar. Now, the only problem might be Max. He most likely will pit for another tire. But did he start off on a medium or a soft? If he started off on a medium, he will go most likely with another soft. If he started with a soft, a medium is coming. I've completely forgotten what Max did, but 2 Ferraris we could pass. Now, I am trying to push a bit. We do have some extra fuel and we could waste our tire a little bit, but I am hoping that the tire being in good shape will give us that little extra time boost that, for example, Carlos would kill to have right now. It looks like we are catching up to Carlos right now. He had a 2.9. Lewis had a 27.8. Let's compare these two now. Charles enters the pits. Interested to see what will Charles put on. So yeah, Lewis is 1/100th quicker than Carlos. Let's see. Will we be able to pass Charles Leclerc? No, we will be a bit more aggressive. I do want to pass him. Just push. Let's see. It looks like both of our drivers indeed will pass Charles. Actually, George might not. Let's see. Where does he come out? Ah, he does come out behind Charles. So I will not push. Oh no.
Now we're just proceeding through turn 4. Around they spin. And I wonder, Could they have done anything about that?
Oh, I was the one saying that we have to worry about spins
Updated
today.
sometimes.
We will pit now. We will rush to the pits.
Roger,
Oh,
okay.
actually, I'm afraid that the tires might blow up, so maybe I shouldn't push that hard.
Okay, so box.
Let's push for the softs.
In a box is that.
Damn! I
Yeah, we
was
just need to make
really
sure that,
hoping
we don't
for
fall
a
on that
Lewis
tyre.
masterclass today. Damn, he goes for a spin. Okay, well, it is what it is. We can't blame him. Yeah, and I did kind of predict that cars are going to be spinning today. It is what it is. But does George pass Max Verstappen? He might be too far away, but it's always nice to be in front of Max. Are we still in range of Max, or is Max invincible this race? He is moving again. If George gets the RS, we will definitely catch up. Let's see. Looks like George will indeed pass Max. Great. Okay. Another yellow flag. Multiple cars crashed. Will there be a safety car? Nothing major. This would have been a great time for a safety car for us.
Just be careful, traffic, pit exit.
2.6 for Lewis. Will he come out in clean air? Alonso now racing to pass him. Alonso will pass him though. Let's see, the Racing Bull coming. Oh, actually, he gets out in front of Alonso. Great. Okay. Logan Sargent, meanwhile, gets a 5-second penalty. So, Logan, bye-bye. You are now out of the top 15. Let's see. So, we just need to conserve the tire. We will now drop down
Sure
and
keep these
just
tyres
go
in good nick.
everything neutral.
Understood.
Conserve a bit, and George will have to pit. I will hold him out for a bit longer. Max is now attempting an overtake on George, but hopefully the fresher tire that we'll have later could benefit us. Although maybe we do not want Max to pass us before we pit. You know what? Might be time for us to pit a bit earlier, or we could just go on all-out attack. I think I already slept on it, so I will now tell him to pit this lap. Boom, and we will push. Try to do our best to keep Max behind us. Nope.
Yes, box.
There's Max. Well, we won't be winning this race. And so George has overtaken Checo and left him in the dust. Now behind Carlos Sainz. Fortunately, Max and Leclerc indeed are far and away. But George now on the back of Carlos will have an opportunity to pass him. We will actually deploy a couple of these corners.
Okay.
If we could get away from him and steal the DRS and also control the tires, you know, being in dirty air with the softs in Qatar ain't the best. So let's just try to get past them as quick as we can. Also, Lewis now closing in, and actually closing in on Checo and soon to be battling him. We'll see what they can do. I will push a teeny beeny bit with Lewis for him to close in on Checo and top up some battery. But here we are in the DRS straight. We will deploy to get that extra little boost. Carlos defending. We will go back to neutral. And George does indeed pass him. Now, just increase the gap. 7 laps to go. Oh, and Lewis almost crashed into Checo.
Good job.
But we'll be battling him this whole lap. Let's see. Can he overtake him successfully? I have given him overtake aggression high just for him to make that comeback. You know, Carlos ain't that far, so he can score some extra valuable points for himself.
Let's just keep our heads down.
And here goes Lewis into DRS straight. Deploying out of the corner, opening up that wing. And now successfully passing the Mexican. 6 laps to go. Carlos being now chased by Lewis and put in the dust by George. opening up the gap by the second. Now, George just has to secure the third and for another podium this season, while Lewis still has some time to chase down Carlos and take his points away from him. Oh no! Valtteri Bottas slows down his ex-teammate, increasing Carlos's gap to Lewis from almost 1 second to 2 now. We had that one last chance to pass Carlos, and now it is all but gone. We will deploy just to try to do our best, but yeah, we had to close the gap to almost 1 second. I was just waiting to tune you guys back in, and Valtteri slows us down. Well, I guess it's deserved. Valtteri got his revenge for all of the times Valtteri had to ruin his race for Lewis.
Max Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner.
But as Max wins the race, George will secure another podium this year.
Battery at the moment.
I believe this is his third podium. Finishes third in Qatar with...
So that's checkered flag.
P3. Well, he didn't say anything. I was pausing to let him speak, but great race by George with all of the difficulties we've had and all of the wear and tear that our cars
So
have.
we have taken the flag.
On a sprint
P5
wrench
list.
weekend, we finished
like
third.
this.
Successful race by George. I am happy about this one. Let's see what Las Vegas entails. Las Vegas, Abu Dhabi. Turns out it was George's second podium of that year, and he really deserves this. Next year, hopefully, George will be competing for the podium almost every race, together with the man that finished fourth, Lewis in fifth. Sorry to say this, Lewis, but hopefully this will be a regular occurrence. Lewis behind Carlos and George. Lando finishes at 9. So let's see what does the driver championship entail. Whew. George passes Lando in a nice 20-point lead on him in the weekend. Lando only scores 3 points in the weekend. Well, Lando say goodbye to the 6th place in the Drivers' Championship. Well, unfortunately, no catching up to either the Ferraris or Red Bulls, but for the last race of the weekend, 2 impressive battles to keep an eye on. Checo versus Carlos Sainz for the 3rd position in the Drivers' Championship, and Fernando Alonso versus Lando Alonso for the 7th position. So, multiple interesting storylines there. Let's quickly check in on our bottom feeders. Ooh, Alex Albon ties it with Danny Rick. Another, I guess, storyline you can keep an eye on. Who will get that last little point? Yuki Tsunoda, close by Danny Rick, also just actually signed a contract extension with the Racing Bulls. We'll see him for another year next year on the Racing Bulls. What will happen with Danny Rick? Another interesting storyline. Will he stay at the Racing Bulls or will he move somewhere else? Now, actually, almost everywhere it is locked down. The Red Bulls both have their 2 drivers. Ferraris have their both 2 drivers with Charles and Lewis. Mercedes, George and Carlos. McLaren, Norris, Piastri, Alonso, or Aston Martin, Alonso, Stroll. So, actually not that much movement. Then on, Danny Rick without a contract. Will he stay at the Racing Bulls or will he move? Valtteri Bottas and Guan Yu Zhou without a contract. Let's see, Nico Hulkenberg going to Sauber. Will he team up with Valtteri or Zhou, or will he have a different teammate? Esteban Ocon released, but in this universe he might stay with Alpine. We'll see what happens with them. Kevin Magnussen without a contract as well. Liam Lawson. Will he actually? The Racing Bulls might want to finally sign Liam Lawson. We'll see. His contract ends at the end of the year, and most likely Except all of the confirmed signings like Nico and Lewis. I will just let the NPCs do whatever they like. So we could see Lewis even in a Sauber, maybe in the Racing Bull. We'll see what happens with them. Maybe even an Alpine. We will see. Logan Sargent, same thing. Zhou Guan Yu hasn't scored a point this season. Might this be the end of the Chinese man in F1? We will see. Nick DeVries is Nick DeVries. Alright, Constructors Championship. 385, as we've been saying for the past couple of episodes. We have solidified our position as third. Same with Ferrari and same with Red Bull. We are not moving. McLaren and Aston Martin maybe could move, but like most likely they will not. The Aston Martin need to win almost. They need to have a 1-2 in the next race. AlphaTauri most likely not moving. Williams just might have secured their position in 7th. Haas Alpine will have a battle. Actually, Sauber and Alpine will most definitely have a battle. Valtteri Bottas could have scored a point today, but didn't. So, interesting storylines for the last race in Abu Dhabi. I will end the episode off right here. And basically, that is it for F1 Manager 2023. We could continue on going with this series, but I really think it is for the better for us to switch, as there are much more features and things to do in F1 Manager 2024. I will be possibly playing this and posting maybe some updates on the Discord. So if you want to see what happens next season, maybe tune in on Discord. But I think I've just lost all the motivation and interest in F1 Manager 2023. Let's now move on to F1 Manager 2024. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this series, and I will see you guys soon in F1 Manager 2024.